Hey, thank you for listening to the coverage of the PrimeRx Xplore event 2025 user conference. My name is Todd Urey, founder of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. We have an exciting show for you.
You are listening to the global network of podcasters dedicated to the pharmacy profession. Welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Welcome to Xplore 2025, a three-part podcast series produced by the Pharmacy Podcast Network, capturing the highlights and insights from the first ever PrimeRx user conference, held October 10th through the 11th, 2025 at the Westin Jersey City Newport. Over 2 dynamic days, attendees explored the PrimeRx ecosystem, covering long-term care models, AI-driven patient engagement, DSCSA compliance, and the company's first integrated pharmaceutical purchasing workflow. Sessions and workshops focused on emerging trends and continuing education, equipping pharmacies to stay compliant, profitable, and future-ready. The event revolved around 4 key pillars: growth opportunities, cutting-edge technology, meaningful connections, and game-changing solutions, all designed to empower independent pharmacy owners. Here's part 2 of our 3-part series.
Okay, I wanted to bring out the reason why I always start with this is because it's important for everyone to know how do we function. On a day in and day out basis, what is our mission? So our mission is to build healthier communities by providing cutting edge technology to pharmacies. It's as simple as that. Now, there was a lot of thought that was put into it. Why building healthier communities? Because our bread and butter and the majority of the pharmacies that use us, they are independent retail pharmacies. I know the industry is going through a tough time, and I also know that pharmacies are coached to be caregivers. They are more of like, hey, take care of the patient, not necessarily into the business mindset. And that's where we have always seen that we can really come out, look at what is it that we can do within the pharmacy to remove that burn, make some kind of efficiencies in there, and make sure that the pharmacies are functioning properly. So that way you can do what you are coached for, which is taking care of their patients and thereby building healthier communities. So that's the reason why, that's how we came up with that purpose. Our niche is pharmacy technology and healthcare ID, period. We don't do anything else. Years ago, and we'll go a little bit into the story later on, but years ago, when the software company was started, and the story goes like, you would give $500 and we would make accounting software, and you could give $100 and we would build an interface, and we would do each and everything that we needed to do to just get the company started, right? But at some point in time, we decided to focus on pharmacy because that's what really got us into a more like, hey, this is something that we know better. We understand this technology, this community much more better. It's standards driven. We can make a lot of difference over here. And through constant referrals at that time, we were able to get into the pharmacy. So our niche is just pharmacy. Our values, customer focused. So this is how our team on a day-to-day basis behaves, right? Like, we are 100% customer focused. We are accountable. 100% transparency within the company. We don't have barriers, walls. There is no, we all have titles, but the newest employee that comes in has the freshest idea, and we are completely open to listening to those. So this 100% transparency. We make sure that we are team players. There are departments, but you could literally walk across departments to get stuff done because it is the pharmacy that is suffering if we start having more walls over there. So team players, always raising the bar. So we are, at the end of the day, a software company. We don't know when to stop. Basically, you guys are pharmacists. You know how to fill prescriptions. We don't know how to fill prescriptions, so we tinker with software all day, and that's what we do. So we always keep raising our bar. We say, okay, the software has all the reports. Okay, what else can we do? So we break it, and then we fix it again, once again, over and over. And then finally, getting stuff done. So This was coined this way because somebody said that I cannot say getting shit done, so they said getting stuff done is the right way to say it, so I said, okay, fine. But what it ultimately means is that does not matter what the challenge is, does not matter if your internet is down, your phone is not working. When you call our support services, we don't really care what needs to be done. We'll interface, we'll call, we'll conference people, we'll try to work with the vendors, we'll do whatever it takes to make stuff work, right? So that's simply what that means. And that's how we, on a day-to-day basis, just start our mornings. We hire people with the same mindset, and that's what's built a group. So this is this man. So there's a lot of people. This is Mr. Akbar Merchant. He's our founder. He's no longer with us, and he's greatly missed by all of us. He's my mentor. I've been sort of, a lot of us actually have been sort of coached under him for like maybe over 2 or 3 decades. And if there was the fact that he had a vision is great, but the fact that he was one of the nicest human beings is even more important for us. And he cared for each one of us like family, and that's what brought the team in, and that's how this company was built. The DNA still lives in the same way within us. We still get challenged on a day-to-day basis by our team to say, why can't we do this, why can't we do that? And now it's all because of the mindset that Mr. Merchant created. And we fondly call him as Mr. Merchant, and he's not with us, but I'm sure from where we started, he would be extremely proud of where we are at and where we are headed to. So I just wanted to start off with this. This is a timeline. So actually, can I have the confidence monitor, the slide actually a little bit bigger so I can see it, if possible? Otherwise, I'll just keep looking over here. Okay, this is perfect. Thank you. So the company was founded, a little bit of history over here. The company was founded in 1991, as I said, by Akbar Merchant. It was initially a custom software development company. At that time, there's pre-Y2K. This is where I had joined in, I think, and at that time, it was like, okay, lab management systems, the transcription business that was not outsourced. We would do transcription businesses, medical offices, obviously a handful of pharmacies, interfaces, anything that the company could do, that's how it would progress, right? And that's what got the company started. 1997, we released the first version of PrimeRx. It's a DOS-based version, and I think employee number 1, Salim, is still with us. 1997, right, Salim, or 96? You see, so the one thing that this actually proves that the one thing that we don't like is losing guys and losing pharmacies. So whenever somebody's like, oh my God, like this is not working, should I be switching? We dump everything. We're like, let's focus on this and make sure that we don't lose pharmacies. So, and that's where the passion really comes for. We don't just like losing people, we don't like losing clients. At the end of the day, it's as simple as that. But 1997 was the first version of PrimeRx, DOS-based version. We all sort of learned the spaghetti code at that time, FoxPro 2.6. Go to the pharmacies, compile code, fix it, bring the code, and punch it back into the servers. If the IT directors heard it now and the CTOs heard it now, they would be like, wait, what? You cannot do that, absolutely. But that's how we survived, right? Pharmacy by pharmacy. No marketing teams. We just did good enough job and worked extremely hard at everything that we did, where pharmacies would be like, hey, you have what it takes, right? I'll refer you to my friend. And 100% of our growth is pharmacy by pharmacy. It's referral by referral. We do not hesitate to go down on our knees or go over the ceilings and throwing cable wires. I was talking to actually Himang today morning, and we were remembering, is like we were having nail guns and just putting nails everywhere. We didn't know what code was, what insurance was, and we just kept on making pharmacies work that way, right? That's how we started. 1999, we serviced the first 100 pharmacies. That was our marker to say that, hey, this is something that I think this is the first time we have had 100 customers. This is something that we can do, and we kept building the software from that point on. In 2004, we stopped all other lines of business. We had lab management systems, as I had medical billing offices, some accounting softwares, a variety of other IT-related services. We stopped all of that and focused only on PrimeRx. And this is when, in 2004, PrimeRx Enterprise, the Windows-based version, was released. The Windows-based version, this is the version that pretty much all of you in the room have. We call it PrimeRx Enterprise. Going ahead with technology was always something, as I said, we like to tinker with technology. So Windows was new around that time. The .NET Core was fairly new, and we're like, okay, let's keep on building something with SQL Server and Windows, because that was the more expandable technology. So that's when the version was released. In 2007, we got our first pharmacy in California. So we've been sort of primarily, because it was a referral-based business, it was just one pharmacy to another pharmacy. So New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania was something where we started growing. And then someone suddenly bought a software in California. We're like, what? That's another country, right? And they're like, no, you just have to go and service a customer over there. But that's how we started expanding out. And then we are a national vendor now, but at that time it was a big deal for us. So that's why it's a milestone. 2011, in just a short time, we grew over 1,000 customers in 21 states. Once again, hard work, every single day, out. No marketing teams, no sales experience, just do what you do best, which is helping farmers. That's how we kept on growing. 2004, that was our first entry to Puerto Rico market. And we grew. We now have hundreds of customers over there, but in 2014, that was a milestone over there. I don't have one milestone. 2015, we got our first major health system, Northwell. It was called LIJ at that time, but now it's Northwell. So, and we have the CEO of Vivo Health here with us, but that was a milestone for us, huge milestone for us in 2015. 2017, over 3,000 customers. 2021, we rebranded ourselves as PrimeRx. So a lot of people were like, what is Micro Merchant Systems and what is PrimeRx? So Micro Merchant Systems is the parent company. PrimeRx has always been our product. Before Amazon came up with the Prime, we were the PrimeRx, and we still actually have the trademark for PrimeRx. So Amazon cannot take that from us. But so we rebranded ourselves as PrimeRx around that time, and we said, it's more cool. We think we still have a lot of juice left in us. We are still a young company, and so that's how we rebranded ourselves. So before, our emails were Ketan@micromerchantsystems.com. It was like, I used to get tired typing my email as well. And we said, okay, now it's Ketan@primerx.io. So, but that's how we rebranded ourselves. And a huge shout out to the team that did it, because I don't know how they rebranded the whole company into just something very cooler and something very right? So now it's PrimeRx. 2023, we moved over 4,000 customers. Once again, very, very organic growth. We are, I think, one of the only companies that are growing at this pace without actually acquiring another software. There's a lot of mergers that happen in the industry, and obviously, there are customers that software. They are healthy vendors who we have competition with. They have larger numbers, but it's acquisition. We are just one pharmacy, one group, one pharmacy, one chain. That's how we've been sort of growing, right? So for us, it's a milestone. Over 4,000 pharmacies in 47 states at that time in 2023. 2024, we launched PrimeRx Cloud, and I know most of you have not seen it, and there's going to be a presentation on cloud also. Enterprise is here to stay. Enterprise has so much functionality, so much bandwidth in it that I can guarantee you that there's not a single person who can say, I know everything about the software, because the more deeper you go, the more you're going to find out. And this is the reason why this trade show was here, and when you go to the booth, there is not a single thing that you can throw at PrimeRx that it won't do. You will be amazed, I guarantee you. And everybody that can do anything in PrimeRx, from product managers, developers, software, sales, implementation folks, subject matter experts are here today to answer all those questions, right? So anyways, PrimeRx Cloud was launched because we looked at technology like the same way we did back in 2004. How does technology scale? And Windows was in, and we built it, and it served great, and I don't think it's going anywhere, and it's here to stay. But we saw that the behavior of people is now more on the, hey, I just go online. The internet became more stable, more accessible everywhere. People had concerns about like, oh, what if the internet goes down? The tethering came, and the phone data now, like my phone sometimes has more powerful data than sometimes wherever the Wi-Fi of the hotel or something like that is, right? So as technology became stable, we felt like, okay, what if you were to create a browser-based system? The contracts were more value-based. The reimbursement cut down. So, instead of the people coming to the pharmacy, the consumer's expectation was like, I want everything over here. So everything sort of changed during a little bit. To me, it's pre-COVID and post-COVID kind of a scenario. And everything kind of changed over there to say like, what if I don't want to be behind a counter and I want to go to the customer? How do I do that, right? Maybe somebody is in a wheelchair, and instead of like, hey, can you come here and tap the credit card? What if I want to go there and service the patient? What if I want to simply have a point of sale, and then, if there's a curbside delivery, pick up my point of sale, go to the curbside delivery, get a signature sign, tap, go. What if I want to send a text message and basically get a signature for audit, or I want to have someone pay for it? All these things were possibilities. And by the way, in COVID, our engineers did a phenomenal job. When people could not really touch anything, or people were afraid of doing it, within literally 1 week, we had the whole modules where, okay, everything was going to be signed and paid online, etc. All these things were done, just very crude, hardcore programming, right? But that's how we just evolved. So when cloud was initially conceptualized by Mr. Merchant, he was like, what if we did this? And how would we build an entire pharmacy management system and the entire line on cloud? And that's how we launched 2024 Cloud, and right now it's in an early adopter phase, and you'll see a demo on that as well. And in 2025, we launched the PrimeRx ecosystem, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Ecosystem is our belief of taking what we have learned in the last 30 years and applying it to everything that we do from now on. That means, how do we set up pharmacies for success? What is it like when a pharmacy asks us like, hey, I want to use PrimeRx, do we just tell them that this is what you need, or should we tell them that, hey, this is what other successful pharmacies are doing, and these are all the things that you need? Yes, the price point for technology will go up, but the amount of efficiency, the amount of labor, the amount of audit issues, the amount of clarity that it will bring into your business by just looking at data will increase. Because it was, until that time, it was like, well, I don't want to really give a higher price because I don't want to lose a customer. And we still have those things. Well, your competitor is giving this price, and I'm like, oh my God, but we do a lot of other things that sometimes the competitors don't do. So how do you talk about it, right? And that's the reason why we were like, hey, we need to have this user group forum where we want our customers to come and learn more about PrimeRx, know more about who we are. At the end of the day, you see, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in the next probably slide, because I want to thank some of the people. But at the end of the day, people understand, people who are running business understand that things will break. But when things break, it is who you're talking to, the company, do they care about it or not, etc. That's what matters. If you don't like the people that you work with, does not matter how good the technology is, you will at some point back away, right? And we wanted to bring ourselves out of the shadows and come out in the front and say, hey, this is who we are. We are real. We will make mistakes 100% of the time, right? There's no doubt about it that there will be mistakes made. But when we do make mistakes, we will stand behind that. We'll hold ourselves accountable, and we'll make sure that we do whatever it takes to fix those mistakes. And I think our team has done a phenomenal job of bringing our support systems up, making sure that we invest into the right technology, right CRM systems, right phone systems, to basically make sure that we get back to the pharmacy customers soon enough, right? So those are the kind of things that happen. So anyways, the ecosystem is just us looking at the entire spectrum of the pharmacy industry, from not only the dispensing and the clinical side, but the compliance side of it, the security side of it, the procurement side of it. And that was the reason of why we acquired PrimeRx Market in 2024 as well. And David will talk a little bit more about what Market is. And you may have seen that in PrimeRx now Market has sort of entered. When you're filling prescriptions, you'll see the price, you click on it, order, you move in. So the days when you are filling prescriptions and taking a bottle over here, oh, this is the last one, I take a sticker, put it on my thumb, fill the prescription, take the sticker, put it into a notebook. At 5 o'clock, somebody goes into a notebook, I need to order. We are trying to say, how do you make that efficient in the workflow, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about it, but that's what ecosystem is about. In July, we got SOC 2 certified, so that was a huge movement for us. Thanks, Darryl. I think he put in a lot of work over there, and we are SOC 2 certified. That means our systems data, security-wise, we are completely compliant right now. And October 10th, that's a milestone for us, our first user group conference, so Xplore 2025. So that was a little bit on the journey for PrimeRx. So this slide, if you don't see a name over here, it's purely just unintentional, right? But over the period of years, there are some people who took a lot of risk and put a lot of trust in us when we were really small, when we were not even 100 customers. These are the people who put us on the map, and I wanted to publicly acknowledge this. These are pharmacies where we've gone in and we've set up the systems. A lot of our teams know them. And this is from Girish Soni, Kamlesh Patel Group, Nitin Khanwala Datwani, DMS Groups, Rohit Sakaria, Sam Madali, Brahmaji, Ravi's groups from Alvin, Vivo Northwell, Anand from the Lowdown, Raj from Connecticut, Pharmacia Plaza from Puerto Rico, Jignesh Rupe, Chicago, Neff Group, Pennsylvania, Vistara, New Jersey, Jacob Jamaron, New York, Anil, Maryland, Atul Shah, New Jersey. These are some of the people who are like, hey, we have multiple pharmacies, a lot of network, we don't know who you are, but we'll take a bet on you, right? And they took a bet on us. Does not matter. Whatever happens, they stood with us. They have never really looked at anything else beyond PrimeRx. Everything that happened in the pharmacy, they're like, can you fix this? They would fight with us. They would say, hey, I want you to do this because this is an issue with this audit and this is my problem. I know it's not related to a pharmacy management system, but I need to have these things because this is hurting my business. And they made sure that we build the software accordingly, right? So, and likely, the PAPA group, the BAPA, Indo-American, PISNI, NAPA, these are some of the state-based associations locally that really put us on the map. We would just go there as a small-time vendor, could not really afford going to those shows, but like sometimes they would give us a discount. It's like, okay, just come. And that's how we grew, right? So thank you. If you guys are belonging to any of these groups, huge bow down to you guys. Thank you for this.